For a lot of us, this is where it all began. Hockey was a way of life.
I feel like EA Sports' NHL franchise has been stuck in cruise control for a couple of years now. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Ever since NHL 15, which may be considered one of the worst in the franchise, this series has essentially played it safe. Now, they've definitely made some improvements since 15, but we haven't seen any game-changing innovations in a long time. For the past 2 years, review scores have been nearly identical. Likewise, sales numbers have remained steady. So naturally, I went in this year fully anticipating I would not see EA's NHL game rebooted in any way. Like most of EA Sports games, it's all about making those incremental improvements from year to year. Sure, NHL 19 brings a suite of new additions that unquestionably improve the experience. It looks, plays, and offers more depth than ever. But was I blown away with anything I saw in the game? Not really. But that's okay. NHL 19 should be enough to keep hardcore fans coming back while maintaining a hockey game that is accessible for newcomers. When I step away for a minute and take stock with where the NHL series sits on EA Sports priority lists, it's clear it's near the bottom. It boils down to resources, and to be perfectly honest, it certainly appears the NHL dev team is shortchanged a bit. The NHL Ultimate Team mode is nowhere near on par with Madden's Ultimate Team, which offers far more depth and variety. Likewise, a single-player story, like we've seen in Madden and FIFA, would be absolutely perfect in NHL 19. Again, this is not to say that NHL 19 isn't a decent game. It absolutely is. In fact, it's rock solid, but I just cannot help think what more could have been done if EA Sports had dug a little deeper into their wallets. As I say that, I still don't want to take anything away from the game. NHL 19 is a smoother and more authentic hockey experience. Most notably, the skating mechanics have improved this year. Using real tech motion, which they've also used, in Madden and FIFA, players seem to turn on a dime and more realistically work out of tight corners. Skating in previous NHL games felt a little stiff, and you don't get that this time around. I felt more in control. The players' crossovers and carvings look close to the real thing, and turning and cutting is easier than ever. The shooting and passing mechanics remain for the most part unchanged, and I'm actually quite happy about that. I've often felt that NHL nails those passing and shooting mechanics, so I'd hate for the dev team to tinker with that area needlessly. I did, however, notice that there were far too many block shots. I get it, there are a lot of block shots in the NHL. But NHL 19 seemed to be a little over the top in that department. NHL 3's, for instance, was a frustrating experience at times because if there was a defender even remotely in your way, he'll block the shot. Every time. Hitting does seem a little bit more realistic this time around. Players used to kind of fall to the ice in a similar ragdoll-like fashion. And yeah, you do see a little bit of that in NHL 19. There were absolutely times when my player would collapse to the ice after a hit, and I'd be yelling at the screen like a maniac for the player to get up. That said, there is more variety in the types of hits you'll see on the ice. I saw players getting clipped and flung around like a helicopter. You'll also see big players pace smaller players against the boards. It just makes for an experience that feels a little less scripted, and it's pretty satisfying pulverizing a player like Marchand to the ice. I spent most of my playtime in World of Chell mode, and I didn't expect that. I'm usually a franchise mode kind of guy where I just want to play with my favorite team and grind away through an 82 game regular season. Surprisingly enough, I really love Chell, which is apparently short for NHL. I know, it's a bit weird, but whatever, I like the mode. It has a slick social hub that includes EA SHL, 3's pickup games, an NHL Pro-Am mode, and 1's. 3's was introduced last year, so I don't need to get into that mode, but NHL Pro-Am allows you to hone your skills against the AI before jumping into real competition. This mode has 40 3-on-3 challenges with unlockable content as you progress. It's addicting, and I keep wanting to come back to that mode over and over. 1's, which is also a mode offered within Chell, is an absolute blast. In this mode, you'll showcase your talents against others in a 3-for-all, where players who score the most goals in 3 minutes wins. I had a time playing this mode, and I love the short game formats. As you win these 1v1v1 competitions, you'll earn points that contribute towards your rating. This progression system has you jumping back over and over, and the games themselves are fucking bananas. There are no penalties, no stoppages, and it's essentially a free-for-all, so if you're good at smashing folks into the boards and dangling past opponents, this mode is for you. Some other things that jumped out at me this year would be the amount of customizations and the inclusion of over 200 legends. NHL 19 features over 900 new items. Now, I didn't count all of them, this is what EA Sports is telling me, but it does seem like a never-ending selection of hoodies, jackets, parkas, skates, sticks, you name it. So if you're the type that loves to spend time in the character customization screens, you'll love what NHL has to offer. Likewise, I love the fact I can play with players like Patrick Roy, Mario Lemieux, and Guy Lafleur. Yes, NHL Legends has appeared in previous modes like Hockey Ultimate Team mode before, but now, thanks to an agreement with the NHL Alumni Association, you get these legends back in the franchise, and it's awesome. NHL 19 offers so much more than what I've already discussed, but you get the point. There is truly something here for every hockey fan. Traditionalists who love their basic online and franchise modes, NHL 19 has you covered. For those looking for something fresh, World of Chell and Ones should be right up your alley. NHL 19 doesn't exactly reinvent the franchise, but it does advance the series forward in this generation of consoles. NHL 19 is as solid as it gets. Yet still, I cannot help but wonder what could have been done with just a little more resources.